Absolutely nowhere. Hi, I'm Walt, and this is Delta Astrophotography. It's spring, and that means it's the beginning of Milky Way core season. One of my favorites because it's a more artistic way of going about astrophotography. But unfortunately, it's always raining. I never get a break. Just recently found out that right here, the state of Mississippi is the third rainiest state in the United States, and that will not do. So it's time for another Milky Way adventure. Let's go. Since the year 2020, I've been shooting Milky Way nightscapes with some form of a Tamron 24-70 f2.8 zoom lens. Well, this year I've decided to do something a little bit different and go ahead and buy my first 24mm prime lens. It cannot zoom. It's a 24mm f1.4 lens. That means it can let in a lot more light than my Tamron. And this is what I got right here. This is the Rokinon 24mm f1.4. It's a full manual lens. That means you have to manually change your aperture and you have to manually focus. There's no autofocus and there's no electronic aperture adjustments. Now, I haven't used this lens yet, so I'm still gonna take the Tamron with me, but I'm hoping that I can get some good results. And I don't think I'm gonna get as good results as, let's say, a Sigma or a Sony, but I still have high hopes. I've read really good things about this lens. I should also note that the camera body is a Canon 6D. It's a full frame camera. It's very well known for being extremely good with Milky Way nightscapes. Mine is not astro modified in any way. It's really my only do-all camera. I use this for everyday photography, nightscape, so I don't want to get this one modified. I do have a modified Canon Rebel T5i, and I'm taking that too just in case, but this is probably going to be my main shooting camera. Of course, I'm going to be taking my star tracker, the iOptron Sky Guider Pro, and I thought about taking the big rig as well, but I just don't think there's going to be enough room or time for that. And when you break this thing down into its individual components, it leaves a tiny little footprint in the vehicle. So, where am I going? I have no idea! I usually never know until like day 2 of my trip. So how do I figure out where to go? Well, I use 2 different apps. One's called Astrophotography and one's called Campendium. Let's go ahead and jump on the phone and let me show you exactly how I find a place to go shoot out west or anywhere. First, we'll look in the app Astrophotography, tap on the map, and we're just gonna kind of move out west till we find an area we want to go to, an area that looks clear. Put the bullseye where we want to go and hit Get New Forecast at the bottom. And now we get a 3-day forecast of that area. The very top line, if that's dark blue, that means there's no clouds. The middle line, the darker the blue, the less haze, humidity, smog, anything like that. And the bottom line, that pretty much means atmospheric turbulence or super high winds in the upper atmosphere. Once we find an area that looks like it's not cloudy at all, let's tap on the map again and hit the light bulb. That's the light pollution map. And we just need to make sure we're in a dark area. Dark blue to black is typically what I'm going for, especially since I'm going all this way. I might as well try to go to a black area, a Bortle 1 or 2 area. Once I've found a general area that I want to travel to, then I'll open up the app Campendium and find where I want to camp. So this is Campendium, and we're gonna kind of scroll on over to the area that we might want to be camping in. Zoom into that area. And I'm gonna go to the top to the filters icon right here. And I'm going to pull this price slider down to 0. I want free campsites. I want dispersed campsites because I don't want to be camping in an actual campsite where there's people right next door. I'm gonna be up all night with a camera and I don't want to be bothering people with headlamps and walking around and making noise and potentially talking to the camera for a YouTube video. I like dispersed camping, wild camping, things like that. So that's normally what I try to shoot for. So this shows a list of free campsites areas that I can just tap on and read reviews about. The dispersed camping is kind of what I'm all about. Another thing we can do is we can come to the layers at the top and select BLM land. Now this feature is not free. I have to pay something like $50 a year for it, but it's worth it for me because I like to travel a lot. Select BLM land, that's Bureau of Land Management. I can camp there for free for up to 14 days, and a lot of it's pretty wild. Like I could just drive out there and just find a place to settle down. So as you can see, anything in the yellow, that's BLM land, and if I can get out there, I can camp there for free for 14 days. So that's basically how I'm gonna find my spot. I'm just gonna start driving west on day 1, and once I get to where I stay that night, then I'll figure out where I'm actually gonna end up. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get the rental car and we're gonna get ready to get out of here. All right, guys, let's do this. I'll see you out west, south, north. I'll see you somewhere. That was very graceful. Well, good morning. Yesterday, I drove 13 hours and got here in the middle of the night in this beautiful Texas rest stop. Yeah, I got a long way to go, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get out Astrophotography and figure out where we're going next. Okay, here's where we are on the map right now, and I kind of would like to end up in this area eventually, but I will not be able to make it there before dark, but at least I can start trying to get close. So I'm kind of looking at this area right here. I can get there before dark and set up camp, and let's just look at the forecast of that area. It's looking very clear. It looks like some high atmospheric turbulence on that bottom line right there tonight. Let's see what the wind's gonna be like. That could be an indicator of heavy winds. 25 miles per hour, oh my God. Well, that's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's check about 2 o'clock in the morning when the Milky Way comes out. 13, I think that could be doable, especially if I set up my star tracker by my car, or I could just do non-tracked images for about 11 seconds and not have to worry about that wind. It looks like the wind gets even better closer to sunrise, so I'm glad the Milky Way comes up really late. Let's check Utah for the next day and see what that's gonna look like. And it looks cloudy as can be, all the way up through Friday afternoon. So this is not looking good, guys. We might have to find somewhere else to go. But for now, we're gonna open up the Campendium app, head over into northwest New Mexico. And I've actually camped kind of in this area before. It was called the Valley of Dreams, and I actually got lost, and I was told I was in Skinwalker country. It was horrifying, and I'm not gonna go to that exact spot, but this looks nice right here, the Bisti Badlands, or the Bisti BLM Wilderness. I've heard that it looks like another planet. So if I leave right now, I should be getting there around 6:30. That should give me enough time to just kind of explore the area a little bit and find a place to shoot. Of course, I'm gonna wanna stop along the way and film and let the dog out and just enjoy the scenery on the drive. That's kind of the best part, is just getting there and seeing all the beautiful sights. So I'll see you in the Bisti Badlands. Welcome to the Bisti Badlands. Got here yesterday afternoon, just in time for sunset to set up camp. And last night I got to try out the new lens on the Milky Way, and it was more than I ever expected. Let me show you a little bit of how that happened. All right, guys, I'm about to take my first Milky Way photo with this new lens. We're gonna try to look at the camera settings. All it says is ISO 800. Oh, I hope you can see that. I've dialed in my manual aperture to f2.0. I've never shot with an aperture that fast before, so I'm really excited. I'm gonna use my intervalometer. It's right here. And we're about to take a 3-minute exposure with the star tracker on. So here we go. I really hope this turns out okay. All right, here we go. It's shooting. Holy crap. This is how it turned out. You can even see the foreground lit up just like it was daylight. I had no idea, I really had no idea that much aperture would make a difference. This is a complete game changer. And you might not be able to see this on the screen, so I'm just gonna go ahead and show you the photo. Of course, the foreground is blurred because I'm using a star tracker, but this is insane. course, I was just testing the lens out on the Milky Way. I didn't shoot a foreground or anything, so that's what we're gonna work on for the next few days. This area is well known for these bizarre alien-like rock formations, very similar to the Valley of Dreams that I was at last year. These rock formations are called hoodoos, and they're out there somewhere, and I gotta go find them. Now, there is a risk that once again I could get lost out there, so I'm gonna spend today just exploring the area, trying to find the hoodoos, and maybe seeing if I could find some path or some kind of marker to help me get back here so I won't get completely lost in the desert. So I'm gonna go out and explore now. Wow. Well, today was quite the productive day. We spent about 4 to 5 hours hiking out there in the Bisti Badlands trying to find a place to shoot, and I finally found one. Now, the problem is, it takes about 2 miles to get there, and it's a pretty rough desert terrain. And then the Milky Way doesn't come up till like 1 o'clock in the morning. That means I'm gonna have to go out there tomorrow and set up while it's still light outside, maybe shoot a foreground right at blue hour, but then wait till 1 or 2 in the morning to shoot, and then try to come back in the middle of the night in the desert. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do yet, but it's gonna be cloudy tonight, so I'm gonna go to bed pretty early and we'll work this problem out in the morning. So, see you in the morning. Tegan, get away from there. Come on. Come on, buddies. You don't need to be over there. A crazy dog. This is really pretty, by the way. Hi! Oh, let me take this hat off so you can actually see me. Can't do this for long. I've already gotten sunburn, even with sunscreen and a hat. It's starting to get blazing out here today. So, I've made up my mind, and it's not going to be walking back from my shoot at 2 o'clock in the morning through the desert. There's a whole lot of you can't get there from here situations out there. You're like, that's where I need to be, but how the hell was that at work? So, I've packed up my entire campsite, and I've put the bare bones minimum into a camping pack, and I'm gonna go camp out in the wilderness where you can't drive a car, right next to where I'm shooting. I think that's my only option. The pack's a bit heavy, but I gotta do what I gotta do. There's no way I'm gonna risk getting lost out in the desert, tripping and falling down a big cliff or something. So, all right, we're gonna go into the nearest town, get something cold and refreshing to drink, and not sit in the direct sunlight until about 5 o'clock this afternoon, and then I'm gonna start my journey back out into the Bisti wilderness, and we're finally gonna get a Milky Way shot out of this. So, I'm in the parking lot of the Bisti wilderness area. I've been kind of camping back there, kind of up on a ridge. But this is the parking lot that gets you access to the wilderness area, which we're about to go through right now. My God, it's windy. So right back here, there's a fence, and I'll show you in just a second, but once you go through that fence, there's no vehicles, no drones or anything. It's just wilderness, and that's where we're going. So I've walked about a mile now, and honestly, I have no idea where I am. I tried to take the same path as I did last time, but just nothing looks familiar, or everything looks the same. I don't know how to describe it. So if I just have to stop at some point and set up where I am, that's just gonna be how it is. But I'm gonna try. Still got another hour or so of daylight. I think I can make it. Let me flip this camera around and show you where I am. Absolutely nowhere. All right, we're gonna keep going. I just came over a ridge and I finally see where I'm trying to get to. It's about another mile that way. Oh, I think I can make it, but man, this pack is heavy. Well, I never found the place. As a matter of fact, I have no idea where I am. It's really freaking scary. Nothing, not even a little bit, was familiar. I can't believe it. Like, I did this hike yesterday. How am I this lost? Oh, well, I'm setting up the tent now. It's right at dusk. I'm missing the blue hour, but at least with this new lens, I don't have to worry about taking shots at blue hour. I think I can take them at night, but that's almost the last of my concern right now. I hope I make it back tomorrow. I do know that if I just go south, I'll end up at a fence. So yeah, I'm gonna get up first thing in the morning and head south. But while I'm here, I might as well shoot, even if I end up dead. Wish me luck. Okay guys, I just saw a light in the distance a few minutes ago. It was a flashlight. There's actually people roaming around out here at 2 o'clock in the morning. It kind of spooked me, but I think I spooked them too, because I got back to work, turned on my red headlamp, and instantly that flashlight in the distance went off and I hadn't seen him since. That was pretty good. All right guys, I just shot my foreground and oh my God. So I've got an ISO of 800 and the aperture is wide open at f1.4, and I took a 3-minute test shot, and here's what it looks like. That is absolutely insane. It almost looks like daylight. I've never, ever, ever done anything like this at 2 o'clock in the morning before. Now, I'm not a very big fan of this composition, so I'm just gonna walk around and try different foreground shots. All right, y'all, I think I found the composition I like, so let's check it out. There we go. I think that's gonna work much better for me. Check it out, you can see the Milky Way right there, but fortunately I can't use this because the stars are really trailed because of this is a 3-minute exposure. So what I think I'm gonna do is try to walk around maybe the other side of the rocks, trying to find a spot where I get an unobstructed sky and then shoot the Milky Way with the star tracker on from there. But I do like this composition right here, so I'm gonna take this same photo, maybe 5 times so I can stack and remove maybe any kind of hot pixels or noise that might be in there, especially in the darker areas. So yeah, I'm gonna get to work doing all that. All right, y'all, I wanna show you what a single Milky Way shot looks like. And the only thing I've done different is I've stopped the aperture down to f2.0 and turned the star tracker on. That is just magnificent. It covers the whole screen, and there's so much detail in that one shot. So I'm gonna go ahead and take about 10 more of these and then some dark frames. Well, good morning again. I just don't even know how to properly explain or describe last night. I mean, the stars were as bright and beautiful as I've ever seen them. They sometimes say that when you get out to these really dark locations, you can see your own shadow cast by the Milky Way, and I actually saw that. Now, I didn't get to shoot the foreground that I wanted because I got lost and never did find it, so I had to make do with what I had. I just had to stop here when it got dark. But I'm still happy. I got to try out this new lens, and I can shoot foregrounds now without having to do it at blue hour, and that is such a game changer. Or at least I could do that out here. I highly doubt I could do this at home in a Bortle 3 spot because there's so much light pollution on the horizon. At f1.4, I think that would completely blow out the horizon. But out here in the dark, a foreground looks just like it's daytime. I don't know why I didn't get one of these lenses a long time ago. I'm so excited. But now it's time to pack up and try to find my way back to the parking lot. All I know is I walked northeast to get here. So if I walked southwest, I should be able to see the parking lot. It's big. You can actually see it from a mile out, and I'm about 2 miles out. So I can just find northwest, which is a lot harder than it sounds. I mean, I know it's that way, but I don't know how to get that way from here. This is a serious problem out here, and I'm so glad I didn't decide to walk back in the dark. So I'll let you know when I get back safe. Here we go. Oh my God, guys. So I just started walking around, scouting the place out before I put that heavy pack on to leave, and the place I wanted to shoot is right there. I mean, you can't see it because of the bright sun, but it's just a few feet that way. I just couldn't tell because it was getting dark and everything looks alike out here, but I was literally sleeping next to it. Oh man. And this formation behind me, I climbed that multiple times the other day, and I was looking for it as a marker to know where I was. I slept under it. Wow. It just goes to show that things really look different when it gets dark outside. I'm very happy that this worked out at all. I'm so grateful to be here. Oh my gosh, this is a beautiful, beautiful area, and I hope to come back someday. I would probably like to come back with somebody else so I won't freak out alone. But yeah, stupid. Wow. The rest of the month of May has been absolutely insane, but that trip, that was the best moment of the whole year so far for me. And my biggest takeaway from it was not just getting lost or anything like that. It was that lens. Oh my God, it's such a game changer for me. Used to, I would have to go out, set up my camera at blue hour. This is right after the sun went down, and take my foreground and then leave the camera alone until it got completely dark and the Milky Way came out. Then shoot the Milky Way, and I was limited to usually about 1 photo per night. But this really opens up the possibilities of taking multiple shots in the same night, and that's just mind-blowing to me that I haven't been doing that for a long time. So next time I go out west, which hopefully is in a month from now, I get to really, really see what I can do in a single night and over multiple nights. Well, if you liked the video, got anything out of it, let me know in the comments below. Leave me a like and definitely subscribe for more. I'm definitely going to go back out west and shoot some more Milky Way, but I'm going to get into some deep sky stuff tonight as well. Can't wait to do that, but I'm so exhausted. I'm about to pass out. I've got to go to work before I shoot, and then I have to go to work in the morning too. It's going to be crazy. Oh, I want to say thank you once again to all my patrons on Patreon. I definitely enjoyed chatting with you guys. And for my patron that's about to go out to the desert and do your own Milky Way shooting out there, I hope this video helped you, inspired you in some kind of way. And good luck. I cannot wait to see what you get out there. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. As always, stay spacey, clear skies, watch out for snakes, and we'll see you in the next one.